In a quiet village nestled by the hills, there lived a young woman named Mira. Mira was not the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. In fact, for most of her life, she felt invisible, blending into the background while others chased big dreams and bold ambitions. Every new year, she made long lists of goals: learn a new skill, earn more money, get fit. But year after year, her excitement faded, and her dreams remained untouched. Mira thought success belonged to those born with talent or extraordinary energy. She didn't realize yet that greatness often grows not from giant leaps, but from tiny steps taken quietly, every single day. One morning, feeling defeated, she sat under an old oak tree and made a decision. Instead of chasing big goals she could never seem to reach, she would choose one small habit and stick to it. One simple action. No promises of overnight change. No waiting for motivation. Just a daily commitment to something small. Something she could actually control. Mira decided to start with something almost laughably small. Drinking a glass of water every morning right after she woke up. It seemed too easy, too insignificant to matter. But that was the point. She didn't need to feel overwhelmed. She needed to prove to herself that she could keep a promise, however small. The first few mornings, she remembered easily. Then came the days when she almost forgot, when old habits pulled at her. But each time she pushed through, each time she made herself walk to the kitchen and drink that glass of water, something subtle shifted inside her. She began to trust herself again. That tiny act whispered to her, "You can do what you say you will do." Encouraged by her small victory, Mira added another habit, stretching for 5 minutes after her water. Again, it was nothing grand, but it was something. Slowly, her mornings began to change. She no longer started her day feeling guilty or rushed. She started with quiet wins, small moments of control that strengthened her more than any big, broken resolutions ever had. As weeks turned into months, the small habits Mira built began to ripple outward into every part of her life. Without even realizing it, she started making better choices. She went for short walks in the evening. She spent 10 minutes reading every night instead of scrolling mindlessly through her phone. She began setting aside a few coins each day, creating savings where before there had been none. Each habit was so small that no one around her even noticed. There were no grand announcements, no sudden transformations. But inside, Mira was changing in ways deeper than she could have imagined. Her confidence grew, not from dramatic achievements, but from quiet consistency. She realized that big dreams are not achieved by giant leaps. They are earned through thousands of tiny steps, faithfully taken when no one is watching. Mira no longer chased motivation. She didn't need to. Her habits carried her forward, gently but surely, like a river carving a new path through stone. She understood now that transformation isn't a moment. It's a daily choice, repeated again and again, until it shapes not just your days, but your entire life. As Mira continued her journey, she began to notice how small habits influenced more than just her daily routine. They shaped her identity. She no longer saw herself as the girl who couldn't finish what she started. She was becoming someone who kept promises, someone who showed up even when no one else was watching. This quiet shift affected how she spoke, how she carried herself, how she approached every challenge. Opportunities that once seemed impossible slowly opened up. Mira didn't need to chase them. They found her. When a local shop needed someone organized and dependable, they thought of her. When a community project needed a leader, they asked for her. People assumed she had discovered some secret formula for success, but Mira smiled, knowing the truth. The secret wasn't magic. It was the invisible power of small habits, stacked carefully over time. Each tiny choice had built her strength brick by brick, until her foundation was unshakable. She had not climbed a mountain overnight. She had built her own mountain, one small stone at a time. Months turned into a year and Mira hardly recognized the person she had become. Her life wasn't louder or more glamorous, but it was solid, peaceful, and full of quiet victories. She had developed a discipline that no wave of doubt could break. On days when she felt tired or discouraged, she leaned on her habits like steady pillars. Even when motivation faded, her small routines carried her through. Mira understood now that waiting for motivation was a trap. Motivation was fleeting, like the weather. But habits, small, simple, and stubborn, were the real architects of change. Success was not about giant moments of inspiration. It was about the unseen decisions made in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the quiet spaces where no one applauded. Mira had learned that true growth doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It arrives quietly, like a sunrise, unnoticed at first, but powerful enough to light up everything. And it all started with the decision to take one small step, and then another, and never stop. One evening, sitting under the same oak tree where her journey had begun, Mira reflected on how far she had come. There had been no sudden breakthroughs, no overnight success. Her life had changed because she changed. Not all at once, but little by little, habit by habit, step by step. Mira realized that greatness is not about rare moments of brilliance. It's about what you choose to do every ordinary day, especially when no one is watching. Her story was not one of talent or luck. It was a story of patience, quiet persistence, and the invisible power of small decisions made over time. She smiled, knowing that anyone, no matter how lost or overwhelmed, could transform their life if they had the courage to start small and stay consistent. She hadn't just built new habits, she had built a new life, from the inside out. And now, ask yourself, are you waiting for a big moment to change everything? Or will you start today by taking one small step toward the future you deserve?